This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Monday, January 21st, 2019. The title of this rant is Dishonoring Martin Luther King's Legacy and All People of Color, All Minorities, Bigly. So today is Martin Luther King's birthday, and the Purveyor of Evil and Vice President Pence have nothing on the schedule today to honor the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr., and thereby basically not even attempting to pretend that they're not racists. So if we look at Martin Luther King's legacy, he brought to the forefront in the early 60s, as many others did before him, the incredible amount of racism that whites in the United States had done against blacks, let's just say from the Emancipation Proclamation to the early 60s. And that would include redlining, poll taxes, colored-only water fountains, colored-only restaurants, Jim Crow laws, sundown towns, separate but unequal in terms of school systems, which we still have today, and of course the mother of all, which would be lynching, where approximately 5,000 of our fellow citizens were denied their due process and lynched, which is basically state-sponsored terrorism. And this racism created, let's just say, a tremendous amount of psychological damage and extreme poverty in the black community. And he brought this to the forefront. Yes, we did have civil rights laws. Like a dumb kid, I thought that might solve everything. Obviously, it didn't solve everything. We still have a lot of laws on the books which are, let's just say, racist in nature. So, and some of the examples would be voter ID laws, the white flight that started right after the Brown versus Board of Education from 1954, voter ID laws, and gerrymandering, and all the stuff that cops would do, the tremendous amount of blacks that were murdered by cops who were unarmed, that type of thing. They're going to stop people because they had their taillight out to go after them. Those types of things, they still exist. All right, and we need to change all that. And he is doing this to all people of color, to all minorities with the Muslim ban, to all minorities in terms of caging children, where we now know that up to, let's just say, close to 10,000 children have been caged because their parents are trying to bring them to the United States because they have extreme poverty in those areas, extreme violence in those areas where young girls are raped consistently, et cetera, et cetera. And he is denying all of that. And again, these are things that we need to be consciously aware of. And I would say to my sisters and brothers in, let's just say, the poor white communities and the evangelical communities who are starting to go away from this guy, is that the only thing he's done this in his first 2 years is the ACA, which is not going to help you, and the tax laws, which are not going to help you. So while he's making this big thing about all minorities, everything he's doing is not helping you. And we need to come together to go against this guy, because there is nothing that he is doing that is helping the vast majority of Americans. We need to get rid of this guy.